Lloyd was born in 1933 in rural Pontotoc County, the second of 5 children. He attended Center, Beebe, and Wilson elementary schools and graduated from Van Nuys High School in 1951. He served in the U.S. Army from July 1953 to June 1955. He was trained and assigned as a helicopter mechanic, serving in Korea and Japan as a department supervisor in a helicopter overhaul depot. Upon returning from overseas, he attended OSU and received an Associate of Science degree in electronics in 1957. Following graduation, he served as an electronics technician at Sandia Corporation, a research and development laboratory in Albuquerque, New Mexico, from 1957 until 1958. He and Mary Ann Griffith, an OSU graduate in home economics education, were married in June 1958 in Ada, Oklahoma. Lloyd took an educational leave of absence from Sandia to return to campus to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in physics, which he received in 1960. While completing requirements for the degree in physics and living in Coyle, where Mary Ann was teaching home economics, Lloyd decided instead of returning for a career in industry, he would prefer to be involved in education. So he began working on a Master of Science degree in technical education, which he received in 1965. From 1961 to 1963, Lloyd taught electronics at U.S. Grant High School in Oklahoma City. From 1963 until 1965, Lloyd was the assistant professor and head of the electronics department at the Technical Institute branch campus in Oklahoma City. From 1965 to 1966, he served as the Assistant State Supervisor of Technical Education with the State Department of Vocational Technical Education. For 3 years, from 1966 until 1968, he was the field director of the OSU Ford Foundation-funded project in Brazil, establishing post-secondary technical education throughout the country. Upon returning from Brazil, he was the assistant professor of technical education in the School of Occupational and Adult Education at OSU. As a result of the program in Brazil, approximately 75 Brazilians enrolled at Oklahoma State to pursue advanced degrees in technical education. From 1970 until 1972, Lloyd served as the Chief of Career Education Personnel Development at the U.S. Department of Education in Washington, D.C. He managed the federal government's national program of funding for upgrading the quality of vocational and technical education through pre-service and in-service training of VOTEC teachers, administrators, and support personnel. In addition, he managed the national program to establish in major universities a series of doctoral degree programs to prepare individuals for university, state, and national leadership roles in vocational and technical education. One of these programs was at OSU. In 1971, while serving at HEW, Lloyd completed requirements and received his doctorate degree in higher education from Oklahoma State. Through the years, he authored many publications and served on the board of directors for various professional organizations. In 1972, Dr. Briggs returned to campus as professor and director of the School of Occupational and Adult Education, which was responsible mainly for vocational technical teacher and school administrator training and related activities. In addition to responsibilities in OAED, Lloyd served on various committees in the College of Education and served for a time as its representative to the Faculty Council. In 1980, Dr. Briggs was asked to join the World Bank, headquartered in Washington, D.C., to serve as Principal Education Specialist and Projects Officer. During the 16-year service in this capacity, he was responsible for team leadership in World Bank lending and portfolio management for selected developing countries in 3 of the bank's regions. During this time, he spent more than 1,500 days in more than 52 countries supervising teams as they prepared, appraised, monitored, and evaluated education development projects. As part of the technical assistance to the borrowing countries, Dr. Briggs accompanied several groups of international technical educators on visits to programs in the U.S., including Oklahoma State. The World Bank has mandatory retirement at age 62, so in December 1996, Dr. Briggs returned to Oklahoma, but quickly found many ways to be involved in education. For some time, he continued serving the bank as a consultant. For approximately 5 years, Dr. Briggs served on the Occupational Education Studies Advisory Committee at OSU. In addition, Dr. Briggs became a member of the College of Education Associates. Lloyd and Mary Ann became life members of the Alumni Association early in their marriage. In 2012, the family established the Lloyd and Mary Ann Briggs Endowed Scholarship Fund, which will provide scholarships to students studying career and technical education. Dr. Briggs became a member of the very active Pontotoc County Retired Educators Association, later serving 2 years as president. In 2003, he was honored as their very important member. Dr. Briggs became a member of the Vanos Education Enrichment Foundation Board of Directors and later served as its president for 7 years. Lloyd had been an active member of Lions Club in Stillwater and soon, in retirement, became active with the Ada Lions Club. In 2007, he was named the Melvin Jones Fellow. Lloyd served in many leadership positions in the United Methodist Church in the various locations where he resided. In addition to his professional career, Lloyd was a wonderful husband and father. He managed to be present and to be supportive of Nesha and Les's many activities. Both Nesha and Les graduated from Fort Hunt High School, part of the Fairfax County school system in Alexandria, Virginia. Nesha obtained a bachelor's degree in physiology in the College of Arts and Sciences at OSU in 1985 and worked several years in the D.C. area in medical research. Les graduated from George Mason University in 1989 with a degree in accounting. He currently serves as financial director of the American Sociological Association in Washington, D.C. In February 1991, Les married Patrice Murain in Alexandria, Virginia. Patrice obtained her music education degree from Longwood University. In November 1996, Nesha married Scott Smith in McLean, Virginia. Scott, a Penn State architecture graduate, currently is employed by Kinslow, Keith, and Todd in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Lloyd was also a doting grandfather. He started early, emphasizing the importance of education and OSU. The 2 older grandsons, Alan and Jason, are pursuing degrees at George Mason University. And Nathan finished his high school education this year. 13-year-old Madeline is hoping to attend OSU and become a teacher. Perhaps Dr. George Warren summarized Dr. Briggs' abilities and personality best when he stated at Lloyd's memorial service that he was equally comfortable visiting across a neighboring farmer's fence or across the desk of the Minister of Education in a developing country.